Hello. The purpose of this video is to just show you how to run a simulation to see how your statistic that you generate to estimate a population parameter from a sample would perform. And as we talked about in class with the German tank problem, the key is to test it out on something where you know what the outcome is. So I'm going to take you through setting this up and then just talk a little bit about some of the vocabulary words. So as I said before, we set up a population that we know. So I'm going to set this up as 999 because somebody in the class said, well, the Germans are smart enough that if they're going to do over 1,000, they would have 4 digits instead of 3. So we're going to go with that theory, and we're just going to say that, in fact, there were 999 tanks produced in that month of July. Okay, so now we know what our population is. And we're going to assign them a random number. And so, again, purpose is to kind of refresh you on some of the skills here with the technique. And so I'm going to go ahead and do copy the random, and then I'm going to go from B2 to B999, and I'm going to do a Control V, and now I've assigned a random number to each column. And then I'm going to, I think in one of the classes we did 2 times the mean. No, I'm sorry, 2 times the max. So from our sample of 5 that we're going to randomly select, we're going to find out what is the max value in the set of values from A1 to A5. And then we are going to go ahead and make a formula that makes it 2 times the value that we calculated before. Okay, so clearly, 1 through 5, 5 is the max, and then we double it in 10. And then we're going to create a scenario, create a macro where we're going to take our values, and we're going to accumulate a set of samples that will then be able to make a table and then a visual of the sampling distribution. Which is the purpose of this chapter. Okay, so I'm going to use column F to collect my sample results. So just do Control C, and then to remember that you want to paste special and paste it as a value. Okay, and so I'm going to use F, and then I'm going to create a table of values, and I know it's 999, but I also we'll get a look, and then we'll create the table of values. So to create my macro from this scenario here, don't forget you hit developer and you go record macro. I'm going to say it's sample, and I click Control S, and so this will allow me to collect a sample. So now I'm going to start, and the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and insert a space in row F. Then when I did that, you saw my random numbers regenerated. So now all I have to do is sort. So I highlight both, go data, sort. I'm going to sort by column B. And now you can see I've got a new 5 randomly selected, and it takes the highest value of those 5, which is 443, and then it multiplies it by 2. So that's my sample result with my matrix, with my new statistic. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it into the empty space, but I'm going to paste it as a value. Okay, and so that's going to be the end of my macro. So I go back to developer, I say stop recording, and now every time I hit Control S, I'll get a new sample result. I want to get rid of this original one because that was a fake one. Okay, so I go in here, Control S. You can see now something I might want to do is I might want to keep count of how many are in the sample. So F, column F, and that tells me I've got 9 right there. So I go Control F and just kind of pick it, and I get a sense of somewhere between 800 and looks like 2,000. So I think what I'll do is so now I'm going to make my table of values, and I'll probably make it 700, 800, and then go ahead and get them down to 2,000. I don't think I saw anything above 2,000. Then I'll carry 1 extra space there. and say that that's going to be 2,000 plus. And then, so then the key is to remember how you create the frequency table by saying equals frequency. And my data array is going to be F column F. And my bins are here. And then I hit Control Shift Enter. And that allows me to kind of fill it out. And now I go ahead and highlight these values here. And I insert a bar chart. And you can start to see what my sampling distribution looks like. Now remember, we know that there's 999, right? So we know that inside there, I could take and draw a line right here at 1,000, and that's where our true population. So what I have created by using 2 times the max value is a, 2 times the max value is a statistic that we know is biased, and it seems to be pretty tight around a bias. So I almost want to say that there's a certain level of precision there as well, but it's not very precise. But it is. You can see that most of the values are above where we want to be. If I wanted, again, law of large numbers, to see what this statistic is going to do for us, I keep doing Control S. And let's say what happens if I get to 150. And start to see. So from the perspective of someone who is trying to manage or make a decision about the power of the military and how much military force we bring in here, we want to overestimate. So this could be a good metric to do. And the question is it overkill? And in this case, we double the force that we actually needed when we could use some resources elsewhere. Most of it between 1,700 and 2,000. So we're somewhere between 70% and 100% more than we actually are going to face. We probably would want it to be in the 1,300 to 1,400 range, but that's what the military experts are for. But this would tell you what this metric does, and what you're apt to make a conclusion just from one sample. All right, so hopefully this makes sense to you. Kind of gives you a feeling for the for a sampling distribution and how to create these, but also how to simulate in a known environment, so then you can make a judgment about how good that statistic is that you're using to approximate the population parameter that you're interested in finding out.